I'm going to talk about the best cycle for cutting. So I got asked the question, what do I think is the best as far as testosterone dosages? Would I keep it at about 300 to 500, or would I find 1,000 and upwards a good idea as a cutting a stack? Okay, let's answer this question. So for me, I always found that keeping testosterone low, on the low side, as I said, 250 to maybe 500, and the highest, absolute highest that you would go is best, purely because testosterone makes me hungry. So when cutting, obviously being hungry is the last thing you want. So for myself, obviously it's going to be different for different people. If you don't get that, then sure, there's no reason why you shouldn't. Well, there are other reasons, but what I'm saying is hunger is probably the last thing that you want in a cutting cycle, which is going to be a huge deal if you're running so much testosterone that it's making you, you're starving the whole time. Another reason that I wouldn't really sort of want to run anything any higher than 500 milligrams of testosterone is because testosterone converts at such a high rate. It converts to estrogen at such a high rate that you're just not gonna look all that good being on it. So I think there are better things, better compounds that you can use when cutting. I think equipoise is really good. Is really good for cutting and retaining lean mass. I think things like Mastron and Winstrol can be really good utilized towards the end of a cut, the back end of a cut, when you're already leanish and you can see those cosmetic effects that it will bring up. I think that things like Mastron and Winstrol are really good for freeing up testosterone, so extra testosterone. Again, it's not about how much you can inject, it's about how much your body can utilize. So I think things like Mastron have a huge benefit when it comes to freeing up extra testosterone and actually getting more out of your cycle. So I personally, even on a bulk, I would never in the off-season scenario would recommend anyone going over 500 milligrams of testosterone. It may be even 750, but I just personally don't see the point of going any higher than that, purely because you can utilize other compounds. Now, if you don't have access to other compounds, then you can always obviously increase the dosage of testosterone, you will keep getting results. However, I personally believe that higher dosages of testosterone will result in more negative effects than if you were taking a lower dosage of testosterone in conjunction with something more, in something different. Because what you need to understand is that obviously you've got testosterone and testosterone derivatives, just being testosterone, equipoise, things like dianabol, okay? And then you have things like DHT derivatives, so dihydrotestosterone derivatives, which is obviously your Winstrol, Primo, Mastron, all these technically the cutting compounds. And then obviously you've got your 19-NOR or progestins, which is your Tren, Deca, NPP, and also Ment. Which the point I'm trying to make is that a hormone is only as good as the receptors that it's going to occupy. And what I'm trying to say is that they would all work on different receptors. So while testosterone just occupies one type of receptor, it's a lot smarter for you to use smaller dosages of testosterone, but adding in those compounds that would occupy different types of receptors, the DHT receptors, as well as the 19-NOR, which would pretty much give you better results at lower side effects, which is what you're always aiming for. Again, as far as cutting, it's all going to come down to your diet. So if your diet's fine, if your diet's clean, if your diet is hypercaloric, which means you're eating less calories than you're expending every single day, no matter what you're taking, the net results would still end up in you losing fat. So the cycle is not really a huge deal. However, it does still, obviously, you can do things in a more optimum fashion. That's it. I hope I've answered that question, and I shall talk to you soon.